had told that religion is the opium of the masses. You know, opium means the drug. So, none of us are drug addicts, so we will not use the opium of the masses here. So, none of us will speak about politics, right? Then, Winston Churchill had told that politics is the last resort of a scoundrel. We are not scoundrels. just few stones throw away from Vidhan Soda, but still you're not recording, right? So we will not get into the last resort and will not use politics, right? And then third one is when you fill in application forms, right? There's something on a sex. So this is not an application form writing this. So we will not speak about that either, right? So sex, religion, and politics should not be used on this stage or in this room. When you get out of the room, it's your business. Alright. So at some point of time in 2017-18 time frame, when mother and daughter, felt like there has to be, they need a place where they can go improve their communication skill and kind of have some sort of camaraderie, etc. So it's very rare, right? I mean, usually what happens is that mothers are in a different age group and the daughter is in a different age group. So that happens very differently. But in this case, so that is the beauty of Toastmasters, wherein it has something for people from 18 to 80, frankly speaking, or even more. Right? So you had a team of mother and daughter who joined Toastmasters, but in two different clubs. Okay, one happened to be, since the mother joined the country's first Toastmasters club, the daughter decided that she will not follow her mother and join the second oldest club. But daughter was a bit more intelligent, I would say. She joined the finest club in Asia as well. So, and that brings this illustrious daughter. We're fortunate to have this illustrious daughter as the president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. So let me invite Toastmaster Chaitra to take the stage. She's our president.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vivek, for that very innovative opening of the meeting. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
Welcome to meeting number 1504. I call to order meeting number 1504. Okay, I see quite a few guests today. Can I ask the guests to please stand up? Members, how do we welcome our guests? Thank you. You may take your seats. We hope you enjoy today's meeting. Today's meeting is a little different because we have an education session followed by our club committee elections. Now, before we proceed further, I would like to call on stage our Secretary, Toastmaster Shreya Sargol, to give us the minutes of meeting number 1503.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, thank you. The theme of the last week's meeting was, it's not just about starting strong, but it's about finishing strong. That's what we're about to do in this last month of this term. The word of the day was tenacity. The total number of members present were 24 and the number of guests present were 13. Then awardees are as following. The best speaker went to our budding Toastmaster, Alagamai. The best evaluator went to Toastmaster Vivek Vijayan. Yeah, there it is. The best auxiliary role taker went to the Grammar Nazi, DTM Vijayan. The best role taker went to our Toastmaster previous meeting, which was Toastmaster Ganesh Bhai, and the best table topic speaker went to Toastmaster Aman Yasani.
Members, are there any amendments to the minutes of meeting number 1503?
No.
Okay, I pass the minutes of meeting 1503. Thank you. Now I'm going to ask you all to raise your hands. Is there anyone who does not have a social media account? Okay, very smart person over here. Okay, the rest of us waste a lot of time on social media, right? And one of the most popular social media sites is Instagram. Now, Instagram started off in a very different note. They first started off as a startup called Bourbon. And they had a lot of different features, right? If you remember, they had the location check-ins. Who remembers that? Yeah, okay. So, early fan of Instagram. They also had different things like getting points for who all were in the location the most. And they had a lot of different features. And the app was doing well. But then they noticed, with the feedback from the users, that there was one feature that everyone really loved. And that was taking pictures, right? That is what we know Instagram for. So then Instagram did what all startups love doing. It pivoted and it started calling itself Instagram. And from there on, it took off. They started focusing purely on sharing photographs, and they also did things like add filters and other fun features purely centered around sharing pictures. And this is why we see Instagram as one of the most successful social media sites over here today. And the only reason they grew so popular is because they took into account the feedback they got, and that is to purely focus on sharing pictures. Now here at Toastmasters, we also see that feedback is very, very important. And for today, we have an education session on how we can give feedback to those who come here on stage and deliver speeches. And to take this session forward, we have the Tenali Ravana Club. I think this is his permanent nickname now. He is a brilliant table topic speaker. I remember when I joined VTMC, I used to really look forward to his table topic speeches because whatever topic he got, he would really blow it up out of the water. This person has won many awards in table topics contests. This time he came first at the area level, he moved on to the division level, and in the previous years it's also been the same. He is also an amazing evaluator. By profession, he is a software architect at Bosch, and he loves photography. In fact, there is a photo that he shared on Google that has been viewed 10,000 times. So we have to tell him to share it with us as well so we can get those numbers up. Friends, please put your hands together to welcome onto the stage our education speaker for today, Toastmaster Abhay Kothari.
Okay, raise your hands if you do not want to
become a good speaker? You do not want to become a good speaker? Raise your hands, please. Raise your hands if you do not want to become a good speaker. Okay, then you're definitely in a different room right now. But good is the enemy of great. Alright. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
And welcome to the evaluation workshop. This is not an education session, and I'll tell you the reason for that a little shortly. Thank you, Chaitra, for that introduction. And so, what I've realized over the years is there are multiple ways of getting good or great at public speaking. And one of the most simplest ways is to deliver more and more speeches. Now, if you want to do that, that's obviously one of the ways. It's slightly slow, especially if you're in this club because of the number of members, the agenda, and so on and so forth. But it's a method that has high impact. Now there is something that when you're going to craft a speech, you need to know something. What is that? You obviously you should know what your content is. Of course, you should have a story or something about it. You should have some research. You should have a title of your speech. But what else is really important?
Audience.
Yeah, of course. That's while delivering, but while making a speech, while creating your speech.
How fast we can reach connect the audience?
Okay, how do you connect with your audience? Okay, that's something important. Okay, something else.
Message.
Your message. Yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, what else?
As a speaker, how much you believe in the speech first? How much you are able to relate yourself and connect?
Right. Your belief in the speech.
Sincerity.
Right? Genuineness or sincerity. Okay. These are all topics of content, but when it comes to delivery, what matters also is your objective, your body language, your voice modulation, how you use the speaking area, and how you deliver your speech. So these are all the ingredients of a good speech. Now, like I said, if you make multiple speeches over a period of time, you get the hang of it. But there are also a couple of other ways. One of them is to evaluate a speech. Now, if you are able to look at a speech objectively and decipher its contents, then over a period of time, you will be able to, in your own speeches, incorporate those things because you obviously observe them. If you come here on a Friday, you would at least get to observe 3 speeches a week on average. Now, even in evaluation, you can learn from somebody else's evaluation, or you can do the evaluation yourself. If you do the evaluation yourself, let's say a few weeks once, maybe you get a chance once a month or something, it's still a low impact. I mean, it's still high on time, but high on impact as well. But is there a way to reduce the time and still get that much of impact? Now, that is the method that I am about to propose to you. And my guess is, or my estimation is, if you are following this for 6 months, as a club, if you follow this for 6 months, I'm more or less confident we will become better speakers than where we started off. So that's the small promise that I bring along with this, and I only hope for your participation. Now I will just get into the presentation mode, and I will show you what I have prepared and how we can take this forward. Now if you will look in the members group, there is a link that is set. I will be presenting the same link, don't open your phones. And then when we come to the part where you will actually make use of the link, and then we will go on to you. Okay, so I will just move to the laptop and I will show you what I've prepared.
so as you see, this is a tool that we use very regularly.
So they can come this side. Just move. Thank you so much.
Alright. Thank you. Thanks. Okay, so this is a tool that we use very frequently in the club. I'm sure you're aware of this. This is Google Forms. And what I've done is I've prepared a generic evaluation resource that will fit any speech. Okay? And this evaluation resource we will take through. So you have some fields. You have the speaker that you're evaluating, your name as an evaluator. Then you need to provide what you liked about this presentation. You have to provide clear and specific points, your observations and suggestions, and you also need to rate the speaker on some parameters. Now, what are these parameters? These parameters are split into three terms: content, delivery, and language. Okay? Content is king, like everybody knows, so it accounts for 50% of the points. Delivery 30% and language 20%. Okay? So when we talk about content, we are talking about speech development. So what is speech development is basically how the speech is structured around a purpose. It also looks about how the person or the speaker who's presenting the speech is moving towards that purpose. Does the speech have an opening, a body, and a conclusion? Does the speech engage the audience's attention? And does it move towards that conclusion? It also looks at how the speaker has presented facts, figures, examples, illustrations, and how the speaker transitions between the opening body and the conclusion of the speech. Okay? And you have 4 points or 4 markers to rate them: fair, good, very good, and or excellent. Okay? Now, the next part about the parameter or content is effectiveness. Okay? How does the speech come across to you? Were you able to determine the speaker's purpose? Were you able to relate to the speaker? Okay? And the next parameter is speech value. So how is the speaker saying something meaningful or responsible, which is also original? And has the speaker made any contribution to your ideas? Have you felt whatever idea the speaker is laying forward, is it important, or is it just something very silly, or it does not amount to anything in your own thought process? So this is in terms of the content of the speech. Yeah. Now when we come to delivery, how are the speaker's expressions? Do they match what the speaker is saying? Like if someone is talking about a sad incident but also keeping a smile on their face just because they're in front of an audience, are they doing that? Are the expressions congruent with what they're trying to say? Right? And does the speaker make use of the speaking area properly or not? Now the next aspect of delivery is voice. How does the voice vary? Is the speaker speaking in a flat monotone? Does the speaker have good pitch, rate, volume? Are pauses used effectively? So these are some of the things. Now also in terms of manner is something that one person said, it's about genuineness. I think Richard also said that. How genuine is the speaker coming across to the audience? Okay, so this is one. The last part about language is about appropriateness. So how appropriate is the language? Yeah, so that you've got to rate the speaker on that. And how correct is the grammar? Alright, so these are some things that you've got to rate the speaker. Okay. So next, what we will have now is a demo speech by Alright, everyone fairly clear about the parameters? Any questions so far? Alright. So now, my idea is that we have a demo speaker who will come on stage and make a presentation, and we all will take some time, a few minutes, to do the evaluation. Once you've done the evaluation, I will present the results, and you can check for yourself how you have done against somebody else. So in the sense that you've not got, this is not a competition based evaluation, but rather only as a collaborative learning exercise to see what you have added or what somebody else has added that you could have added. So in observing other evaluators and other members of the club very regularly and comparing them against your own evaluation, you will understand in a much better format how to evaluate a speech and of course what goes into making a good speech. Okay, does the idea make clear now? Does it connect to whatever I have said so far?
All clear.
All clear. All right, great. Any other questions so far? Any doubts or questions? More than welcome. One or two quick ones. All right, great. So now I will call on our demo speaker. Now this person is someone who joined the club some time ago, and he is someone who always has a very nice smile on his face. He's always cracking jokes about, and he's making people around him happy and more comfortable. And he recently gave a speech which I like, and fortunately it's the same speech that he's going to be presenting today. And it's a humorous speech which also gives you some message. And for this presentation, I will read out some of the guidelines which are mentioned, and you can also use these guidelines to evaluate during the speech. I'll just read this one. Okay. The purpose of this project is to apply feedback and serve as a club evaluator. Okay, so the purpose of the speech is for the member to demonstrate their ability to an effective, respectful speech evaluation. Okay, but I think this is not the right project guideline. So he will be presenting a speech which has an opening, body, and a conclusion, and he will also be putting together some of his life story and be providing a message. So with the speech title, Raghu, where are you, Maghu? Raghu, where are you, Maghu? I call on Toastmaster Vivek. So you can open the form and you can try and rate Viresh on those parameters while he's doing the speech. And after he's done the speech, we will take about 5 to 10 minutes for you to do the evaluation. Okay? So, over to you.
Hello.
Have you ever felt smart until your school or workplace made you fall apart? There once lived a boy named Raghu. Clever little boy, always visible and vocal. He had a sharp mind and a quick tongue. He was born smart, you see. He was flying high in his Kannada medium school until one day his father called him and said, Raghu, now let's shift to English medium school because that's where the growth is. Now Raghu sat in his English medium class and everything felt as if he had landed on Mars because it was so alien and so remote. Then came the horror, the test. He wanted to give his best. But he hardly understood any of those questions. One section had triangles asking him to find the missing angles. One question was, one angle is 30 degrees, another is 60, find the missing apple. He thought for a while, but none of the formulas came to his mind. He looked around, hoping to find some answers, but nobody was ready to take any chances. Then he again thought for a while. Eureka moment happened. He pulled out his protractor, applied on the question paper, and quickly started measuring the angles. 91 or 92, 91.5, safe. He marked 91.5. Similarly, he answered all the other questions. He had a strict teacher named Rupa ma'am. She shouted at him, Raghu, you are getting zeros. All your answers are wrong. Were you daydreaming all along? Raghu innocently replied, Ma'am, I have verified that myself with protractor. I think the questions are wrong, not my answers. So question should get zero, not me. Somehow his innocence and wit saved the day for him that day. But when it came to his handwriting, oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no. It looked like an ECG graph. Now Rupa ma'am wanted to avenge the revenge. So she said, 2 pages of homework every day. Teachers were strict, rules were rules, and Raghu had to obey. So he started doing his homework every day, again and again, again and again. It looked like a little DJ doing the homework again and again without play. But as always, Raghu had other ways. He started doing his homework while he was walking to school. He started doing his homework while he was at traffic signal. People started calling him the walking writing champ. But his parents called him the walking writing chimp because his handwriting never improved. When it came to cricket, it had to coexist with homework again. He started bowling with his right hand, and his left hand he had sheets for quick revision for the test. 2 in 1, see? By now, you must have understood that Raghu hated school. This escape artist Raghu and his friend enrolled for a drawing competition in Lal Bagh, far away from his school, you see. The squeaky voiced Shambhu uncle had to drop them at Lal Bagh. The Shambhu uncle, when they dropped, he said, You draw here and stay here. No anymore, okay? But Raghu and his friend had other ambitions. They quickly drew something with zero precisions. And then they started chasing the free ice creams given there. Then they started chasing the free pigeons roaming around there. This way they roamed in circles in the park and found themselves lost. All the trees and all the streets looked the same. They couldn't get back. 2 hours had passed. On the other side of the park, Shambhu uncle was frantically searching. On the other side of the park, Raghu and his friend somehow stumbled across the main road. They went straight towards an auto driver and said, Uncle, can you take us to our grandmother's home? Auto driver asked, Your grandmother? Where is it, Puta? Who is she? Uncle, you don't know my grandmother? You and my little sister knows it. Auto driver in confusion blinked. Oh, 2 kids all alone on a main road. What are they doing? Something fishy is happening here. Is the auto driver going to kidnap them? Or is the auto driver going to take them to some shady place and traffic them out of the country? Only time will tell. On the other side of the city, at Raghu's home, police had already arrived. Control room! 2 kids wearing khaki pants and black shoes missing from Lal Bagh. All stations respond. Looking at all these things, their parents were in tears. All hell was about to break loose. Then, suddenly, an auto came to a standstill at a distance. Kids had guided them. They stepped out and started walking in. They started walking in towards the home. It looked like a devil was walking in. They walked in as if nothing had happened, coolly, casually, in a nonchalant way, as if nothing had happened. Then, whack! His mother's slipper met the skin. They said, Beat him! He says Lal Bagh and make us Bagh, beat him! That Raghu was me. Now, what did all this madness teach me, you may ask? From the protractor incident, I learned how to think out of the box. From this walking, writing, reading thing, I learned how to do multitasking and also be innovative. From this Lal incident, I learned how to convince the auto driver, yeah, and also take the beatings if nothing works out. So, if you are in a situation of confusion or chaos, don't worry. Just think like Raghu and you will figure it out, Maghu.
Now, wasn't that an amazing speech? Yes. Alright. So, now we've had some fun. Now it's down to business. So, we'll take about 5 to 7 minutes and we will evaluate the speaker on our own terms and then we will look at the results of the evaluation. Alright? Okay, so it's 7:02 now and about 7:09, 7:10 I'll be back and I'll also be doing the evaluation along with you. Alright? So 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. So 55% of people wrote Vivek, but some people wrote PM Vivek, DM Vivek. So Vivek still has so many spelling. Alright. Who is missing? Okay. So I'll first go on to the parameters and then we'll come back to the things that are good at this arrangement. So, Vijayan, and I'm pretty sure that for most people who have been in this company for some time, you would not have received such a 360-degree feedback in this club so far. So, I think Viresh is the first person, so it's a record. So, for most part, Viresh, everyone thought that your almost 60% of the audience thought that your speech development was good. So, that's good, a good job. And it's good, so on and so forth. So, just have a look at the graph. Effectiveness is a little bit all over the place. I think, especially judging from the pie graph. It's a mixed bag. Yeah, 2 protractors. Speech value. Okay, here's a good one. Here you can really see the protractors. Okay. I think almost half of the audience thought that your speech value was pretty good, and some of them thought it was very good, and some of them also thought it was excellent. So a good job. So in terms of your gesture, stage movement, I think you can see a very good graph or result here. Voice was also on the same part. So in terms of body language, gestures, voice, I think you did very good. Yeah, half the people thought you were really genuine. Excellent work. Some people thought you were very good in terms of genuinity, and some people thought you were just great. In terms of appropriateness of your language, I think it's divided. And in terms of your language, I think half of them use very good language, and here's your exact factor. So, in terms of these parameters, I think you're able to see how effective your speech really was. Okay, and now we'll come to the parts that what do people like about this presentation. I think your humorous conversational tone, self-deprecating humor, your real story, your range of tonality, like voice modulation, story narration, body language, and yeah, again, body language, vocal variety. Yeah, someone like your clarity and confidence. Body language, voice modulation, again, your humor, personal story. So, if you look, most of the things that people liked about your presentation are falling in a similar place. Right? So, this is something really good, and I will share all these responses so you can go through them in the back. And so, observations. Again, please do not be so harsh. Yeah, please do not be so harsh that someone doesn't like to receive your evaluation. So we have to really congratulate Vijayan that he's able to take on so many evaluations. So you've got to be very soft and very genuine and positive about the evaluation that you're taking. So please avoid such comments. And
What is it? You will help them to avoid taking graphics.
yeah, at least I would say that you could state this in a more positive way is what I'm trying to say. And I can't really find out who you put in your name, so I can't. But I'm not going to do it. And I asked for your name only just because of this, and I will remove these kind of comments from in future. Takeaway, and someone thought that you need a better story for your speech. So someone thought your speech was engaging, but the takeaway points could have been a bit more stronger. So you see, you're giving some general feedback, but you're not giving some specific feedback. You need to provide as an evaluation something specific for the person to do in his next speech. And the more you are able to give such specific points to the speakers, the more deeper your own evaluation skill becomes, and the better you will become when you craft your own speech. So by taking this reference, by helping somebody else to get better at their speech, you will in turn also receive the benefits. Someone felt there was a break in connection, so my suggestion would be he should have posted some questions to the audience so that it would be more interactive. Okay. So someone thought there is no feedback, someone was not able to find it. So this is my method of evaluation for our club going forward. And if you really liked this method, what we can do is set up this kind of a form every week for every meeting. And while the speaker is on stage, you can make your notes on a piece of paper and then submit the form perhaps during the break or after the meeting or whatever suits you best. And once the feedback is all collected for all the speakers per week, I plan to share this feedback so that you can look at what can be improved from your side and what you learned from the person's speech, and therefore you can get at your ultimate aim of becoming a great speaker. Sure. So this is it from my side. If you have any questions, I'm open to take them now. Time? Okay, so since it's time and I don't want to delay the next program, so I will. 10 minutes. We have 10 minutes. Okay, so we'll take some questions. Okay, if there are any questions. Yeah.
So if you are evaluating this way,
Yeah.
you have so much positive coming will be there, and so much positive coming will be there,
Yeah.
and so much feedback will be there.
Right.
So it will be lost in that which one will be going to change in this learning.
Okay, so what I would say that the positive is always good, and in terms of feedback, if I were in the speaker's place, I would only look at the feedback which is actionable. So any feedback that is not actionable, I would just leave it for any reference that I might need in the future. So if someone is telling me, hey, for your language you said this word which was not correct, maybe you could replace it with some other word. So I would take that feedback. But if someone said your grammar was very bad, I wouldn't do much about it, right? So you take whatever you can implement and you implement that. Right? Have I answered your question? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the speaker is very nice and you're not able to figure out like maybe you're still new to it and you're not able to figure out what feedback to give. So do you just put the feedback in general, or how do you find something specific when you're not able to?
Okay, if you're not able to find something in the as a suggestion, write down things that you really liked about the speech, and in the suggestion space say that I couldn't find anything. Be genuine, right? You want the speaker to be genuine, so you also be genuine as a person, as an evaluator, and that way I think you refer if someone else has given something else, and you try to see if that feedback really matched what you saw, and maybe you can use it next time. Alright? Okay. Any other questions? Yeah.
You mentioned like excellent, very good, and all.
Yeah.
So somebody gets like very good,
Yeah.
don't know what is excellent. Where exactly I should focus on in each of the parameters.
So, like I said, you look at the descriptions of the parameters, and you map them against the suggestions that you received. So, if you are able to find more actionable points in your suggestions, you go ahead and you implement them. And let's say that at times you do not get much from this, then you can also, you have your recording, you have a mentor who's assigned to you, you discuss the speech with your mentor, and you say what you felt about the feedback, and you take it forward like that. But at least with this method, you have some data to carry along with you after each of your speech. And what you do with that data, I'll leave it up to you. Because as a speaker, we've given you something that you can take forward, and how to use it, I think you can best discuss with your peers in the club, your mentor, and they will give you some more better insights into how you can take this feedback. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
comparing to the companies, you also plan to have bell curve. Very good people.
I mean, I don't want to turn this into a competition.
That doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah. So this is only a way of learning together and growing together. So let's not turn this into a competition or ratings or compare with each other. Compare it for all the good things, maybe not for things that might not be so good in the long run.
He saw, at least picked up a couple of diametrically opposite feedbacks. Very good storytelling, find out a better story. Right? So when you get feedbacks like that, how do you think the person pick it up?
Okay, if you thought your story was good, it's good. I mean, if someone thought they didn't like your story, yeah, fine, it's okay. Doesn't matter. If let's say out of 10 people, 8 people liked your story and 2 people did, what would you go with? Would you believe that your story was good, or would you believe that your story was wrong? So I think that goes on your own self, like what you take as positive and what you don't. Okay. Any more questions?
In terms of speaker, how does he take it back, the feedback? I think whichever the speech, right, even the best of the best speaker may not get excellent, complete dream, they will not get. Some feedback and some improvement points will be there.
Right.
So how do we study, how do we interpret the graph? Maybe excellent and very good. If it is crossing 75% above, then we are good. We cannot go above 90% or 95%, right? How do we interpret the graph as a speaker?
You have to do assessment, you have to do
No, for speaker, if I am the speaker, if I am getting the graph,
whichever relevant you can take.
no, is there any benchmark that if a speaker gets excellent and very good, more than 75%, if it is crossing, then he thinks himself that it is a good speech. So always there will be, even if you see in Amazon, right, nothing, if you go to the reviews, right, not 100% you will have. 5-star it will be maybe 80%, and there will be 1-star maybe 5%, right? You will not get 100% everywhere. So how do we interpret?
Okay. I'll give you my take on what I feel about this, and maybe you can feel free to agree or disagree. What I found is that over the years, what really matters is how you felt about your speech. Right? Perhaps the audience didn't feel good about it, but there have been speeches where I've gotten some worse feedback, but I still felt good about giving that speech. Yeah. Internally, I thought that the one thing that I didn't do right last time, I did it good this time. Maybe your validation has to come from within, right? So whatever you do, not just here but also outside in the world, you've got to validate yourself from inside and not externally. The external validation only helps to maybe give your thoughts some structure or see where you can improve in that sense. So I would say that if you felt good about a presentation, be happy about it. Don't get stuck with the suggestions for improvement all the time. Use the suggestions for improvement as much as you can, but don't hang up over them, right? Just because you're getting a lot of suggestions doesn't mean to say you dig through each one of them. Oh, where did I get stuck with this? How can I do it? This is a gradual process. It does not happen within one speech or two speeches or a few speeches. It's a gradual process. It will take time. So this is what you've got to understand. Okay, do I answer your question? Okay. Okay, I think it's time up now, and Amrit is giving me the signal, and so is the time. So with that, I really thank you for being such a lovely audience. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhay, for that wonderful, very hands-on education session on evaluation. I think we all found it so immensely helpful. Thank you so much, Abhay. With this, we move on to the next part of today's meeting, and that will be the election for the next committee from January to June 2026. And the person in charge of the elections, our election chair, is someone who is amazing at using humor on stage. Now, we already had one very humorous speaker for today. There is someone else who is going to be very humorous. He is our immediate past president, and he has taken multiple roles in our committee, right? I've seen him take the VPPR, VP Ed, and then the president's role in BTMC. He has been a Toastmaster for a long time. He was a Toastmaster when he was abroad in Dubai. And now, when he came back to Bangalore, he's been part of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. This person is a trainer by profession, and he is also our current area director. So friends, put your hands together to welcome onto the stage our election chair, Toastmaster Shiv Kumar.